Hello and welcome to MAT1033 Intermediate Algebra for the Spring 2021 semester. This video I'm just going to go around showing you how to use Canvas, what's on it, talk about the syllabus, and basically an introduction to the course. Now the home page and the modules page are the same, as you can see. So you're really going to spend most of your time on this page anyway. And up here on the top, there's a course information tab. So I want to talk about what's here first. First thing I'm going to do is go through the syllabus and pacing. And I'll look at the syllabus first. So I won't go through reading every single word on the syllabus, but I want to talk about the main key points. So like I said, this is MAT 1033 Intermediate Algebra Spring 2021. My name is Ethan Williams. This is funny to put right now, but the office location is Zoom. I'll show you how to access office hours through Zoom. And then my email to contact me would be here. You can also contact me through Canvas messages. Right. So my office hours are right below here. The Monday through Thursday hours I will be available on Zoom. Why that's important is since this is an online class, we don't have a live time. This is the only time you can really be face-to-face with me to ask me questions. I'm always happy to answer emails, of course, but this is really the only time for that. And ours means specifically email, and I definitely cater these to the online classes, which you are in. So I prioritize emails from online students during these times. If you email me on Friday between 9 and 11, I will answer you pretty quickly. I try to answer emails pretty quickly anyway, within a few hours, as long as it's not too late or too early. But I cannot guarantee it, except really this time. But you can always pretty much expect an email back from me within the day, or if it's late, the next morning. All right, required textbooks. There is no required textbook for this class. They're inside Canvas. There's videos, there's notes, and textbooks materials already. All the exercises, and call them quizzes, but really they're just homework. You'll see in a second, are also online in Canvas. Every student is required to have a scientific calculator. And the best one is the TI-30. There are many versions, and any of them will work. There's like a TI-30S, TI-30X. There's probably pluses and a whole bunch of other stuff. You can get the cheapest one. They probably range from 10 to 20 bucks. If you have a graphing calculator, you can use that. The TI-83 or 84 work, the plus versions. You may not use a TI-89 or 92. They're a little too good. You can also use the Desmos graphing calculator, which is free, and you can use these on your test as well. I'll show you how to get to that in Canvas. I have a little spot in the course information for that, which I'll show you in a little bit. All right, so to be in this course, either you pass the MAT 0028 with a C or better, or you place into this test by some testing score. All right. Like I said, pretty much the requirement is to be able to navigate through Canvas and use your Outlook to send and receive emails. And then also students will have to use YouTube, but the YouTube videos are embedded inside the course, so you're not going to YouTube and searching random things for the course. You can read the course description, but basically it's a whole bunch of things that are designed to prepare you for MAT 1105. And you must get a C or better in this course to progress to that class. I already talked about the communication. You can read this again. This is just about the office hours on Fridays and email, Canvas messaging, Canvas announcements. Syllabus disclaimer probably won't happen, but if I need to, if I need to make any changes to this, I'll post an announcement if there are any changes needed. Now for testing, this is an online course, and you do have to take tests in a math course, and you will be proctored through HonorLock. A lot of you might be aware of HonorLock at this point. If you are not, you can read here and see what you need. There's also a link on, in the syllabus, as you can see, and I also have a little page inside Canvas, which I'll show you as well on using HonorLock. All right, so the grading policy, the way your grade is going to be calculated, there's online practice, which is 15% of your grade. There's online homework, which is 20% of your grade. You have 3 unit tests, which are each 15% of your grade. And then there's a final exam, which is also 20% of your grade. The due dates are over here. Now, for the tests, they're not just available on these days. They're just due on Sundays. Except the final is due on Wednesday. That's because it's finals week. It'll be open for almost a week, so you have plenty of time to do it. The practice are due on Fridays. The homeworks are due on Wednesdays or Sundays. The only exception is with the test week. The homework's due on Saturday, because you should be done with the homework by the time you take the test. Grading scale for A, B, C, and D is pretty normal. Everything you do as far as math goes, so practice, homework, tests, final exam, practice tests, are done in Ohm, which is embedded in Canvas, and you do not have to purchase anything to do it, use it. It's already there for you, you just have to be signed in Canvas. As far as using late passes, so if you're not able to do a homework or a practice on time, you can use late passes. This extends the deadline by 72 hours, and you have 100. Now, 100 should be more than enough. I give plenty so that if you just have a couple rough weeks, you can catch up. You don't have to, wait for an email back about, missing some time. You can just get in there yourself and do it. You can only use late passes, though, on the homework and practice. All right, so the unit tests, which are tests 1, 2, and 3, there's 3 of them. They're 15% each, and I believe you get 90 minutes. I have it outlined when you get to the test, but I'm 99% sure I set it to 90 minutes each. And then the final exam is 2 hours. The final exam is comprehensive. It's over the entire course. And if you miss a unit test, or if you just have a really low grade, you can get your lowest unit test grade replaced with a final exam grade, as long as it's better. But only one. So if you miss 2 unit tests, one of those zeros is going to stick. You have to make sure, if you're missing tests, that you contact me. Let me know what's going on. All right, practice tests. Each test will have a practice test with it, including the final exam. They are due one day prior to the test due date, and they are very similar to the actual test, so it's a good idea to do them. All right, you'll notice if I go back above, you don't see anything about practice tests here because they're not actually for grade. But what I will do to incentivize doing these practice tests, because they are so important, is if you get an A, so at least a 90% on the practice tests, you get a 3% bonus on your test grade. And the way the practice tests work will be like the homework, so you'll see that in a little bit. The last component of this course, because it is an online course, we don't have any live time. There are discussion boards for you to interact. There's only 4 throughout the entire semester. There's student introductions, which is the first week. It's due on the 17th, but we'll see that in a minute. And there's a discussion board for each of the 3 unit tests when you're preparing for it. And you can read it, but basically what you'll do is you'll follow the directions, you'll make an initial post, and then respond to 2 of your classmates. So especially for the ones about the 3 unit tests, is you're going to say like what maybe you found most difficult, what you thought was easiest, what you're most worried about for the test, and then I can be in there responding as well, but your classmates might respond and help you. So that's the reason you need to respond to two. And you shouldn't just say, oh, I thought this was the hardest thing too. When you respond to someone, you know, maybe talk about what you did to make something easier if someone's struggling. Maybe you have a resource that's very helpful for them. But they each count for a homework grade. They should be the easiest homework grades because it is, you're not really doing the math. You're just having to talk about your experience with the material. All right, and you can read this. Basically, it ultimately says you will adhere to the honor code. You won't cheat, and if you are caught cheating, you can, especially on a test, which is the only thing you can technically cheat on because it's proctored, you can get a zero. A zero on a test certainly will lead you down the road of failing the course. Online attendance and late submission. Since this is an online class, there's not really an official attendance, but I will make attendance based on how you participate in the course. So at the end of week 1, if you've done what you're supposed to do, then you'll be marked as attended. If you haven't, then you won't be attended. I don't take attendance for a grade, but I do take it for the purposes of financial aid, and some of you are probably familiar with that. So do beware that if you're not doing your assignments and you're expecting financial aid and you're not being marked as attended because you're not doing anything, then that's why you're not getting it. And then you can read clarification on the financial aid stuff. All right, so January 13th is the last day to drop a class with a refund. That is next Wednesday, or Wednesday of next week. I'm doing this on Wednesday the 6th. And then March 26th, far in the future, but this is the last day to withdraw and receive a W. One thing that's important is I will not withdraw you for any reason. It is your responsibility to withdraw for yourself. You can definitely ask me for advice as what you should do. Just because you're not passing doesn't mean you can't pass, but I will say that the beginning half of this class is typically much easier than the second half, so you want to make sure you're getting off to a good start. Your grade should be pretty solid after the first 2 tests. All right, so accessibility. Basically, if you get any accommodations or anything like that, this is how you access them. This is their phone number, email. The big one is that if you get extra test time, you need to get that letter to me and let me know so I can get it coordinated. Make sure you have your extra test time. Like I said, I'm skipping this, but it's on Canvas. You can read it. I'm just trying to hit the highlights. So, that's the main point of this video. There's a student help desk for technical support, and you can also access this through TCC's website. The live chat is right here. The HonorLock support, if you do run into any issues with HonorLock, I always hate to say this, but I can't fix many of the problems. They have to fix them. So make sure you're dealing with them, letting me know, especially if it makes you miss a test because something popped up that you didn't expect. You need to let me know, of course, but they're the ones that can help you get it corrected. You can read this for, in general, when you're dealing with discussion boards. There are some rules to refrain, to avoid, don't type in all caps, don't use any nasty language, things like that. The tips for success, pretty straightforward as far as how much work you're going to do for this course. Now, the thing to realize is that since you're not physically in class, you have those 3 hours a week that you would normally be there getting lecture, and then you have, the many hours a week homework on top of it. So, most people are on the lower end, but you might do around 8 hours a week for this class, combining lectures, homeworks, extra studying, discussion board, things like that. Do all the work assigned. I can't stress this enough. That's why the practice and homework are worth more than they normally are, because you need to know how to do the problems. Your tests will not be all multiple choice. There's multiple choice on the test, but it's not all of it. So you have to know what you're doing. You can't just guess your way to passing this course. And then use all the resources available: the videos, textbooks, notebook, examples, the Learning Commons, which I will show you how to access virtually, is available. And then, of course, you can always contact me. I am here to help. That's what really, the whole point of me being here is to help you out, because someone else could have just uploaded this Canvas course, but I'm the one that can help you prepare best for the test, what you should do to study. Right, and then the last thing, the important dates. So like I said, the tests are going to be available for a week. The due date is what you saw above. For example, test 1 is available from January 25th at midnight. So it'll become available this Monday, and it'll be available all week. You just need to do it by this Sunday. Now I will show you with the pacing schedule. If you don't want to necessarily do it here, because if you will see on the 25th, you'll still have homework and stuff to do this week. That'll be on the test. And you definitely don't want to take the test before you have done everything. Right, and then the holidays, it doesn't really affect online classes that much except spring break, but the college is closed for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which is January 18th, and then spring break, March 15th and 19th, the college is closed as well. All right, like I said, you can read through the syllabus more specifically, especially when you're getting ready for the syllabus quiz. The pacing here, this is kind of guidelining what you should be doing every week. The homework will all be aligned to it. I call this week 0 because it's very weird that we're starting officially on Thursday. But you will see there are a couple things due this Sunday, because we do officially start on Thursday. You should watch this video or at least read the syllabus. You're not going to hear that if you don't watch the video. And then do the syllabus quiz by this Sunday. There's also a little assignment on how to enter answers. So this will basically be there to help you get ready for typing Math online. Okay. But in general, like the thing said, pretty much everything's due on Friday or Sundays. The exception is test weeks. So like if we go down here to what's week 3, test 1 is due. So the video lessons that are due are 2.3 on that Friday, and then the test 1 discussion. And then test 1 is due on that Sunday, the 31st. Like I said, the practice tests, and then that 2.3 homework, instead of being due on Sunday, it's due on Saturday. Really what you want to do for test weeks is try to be done with everything except the test by Friday. So you have Saturday or Sunday, whichever day you like to do the test. Okay. But this is really a general pacing, what we're doing each week. I can't recommend enough, not waiting till Friday to do them. The homeworks are always available for you. Most weeks we do 3 sections except for test weeks. So like next week, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and a student introduction, but that shouldn't take too long. And then the homework for those sections is due on the Sunday. Okay. All right, but what I recommend, if you have a printer, is printing this out and then just sticking it somewhere around your desk, wherever you do your work, because then you'll be able to keep track of it more easily. All the due dates line up with this, like I mentioned, but it's helpful to have. All right, so office hours. If you click on the student office hours, I have an invitation to the Zoom office hours here. You'll notice the Friday ones aren't here because those are only online. But to go to them, you can, if you download Zoom, you can go specifically to the meeting ID and password, but the easiest thing to do is go to this link. I'm not going to open it because I don't want to join it, but If you go to this link and open Zoom meetings, and then you can connect to the office hours. The password is office hour. I don't think you need it if you join through the link, but just in case you do, it's here. Student resources. So I got quite a few things here. The first few are about the virtual learning commons. And then, that's useful to use learning commons hours. If you click on this advertisement, I guess I can't actually open it because I'm not a real student. Yeah, I'm not a real student, so I can't open it. But that's weird. But anyway, this is a little tutorial on how to get on the Learning Commons. And there's a little video on how to do the virtual Learning Commons as well. And Smart Thinking is more for late night hours and the weekends when Learning Commons isn't open. You can access Smart Thinking through Canvas. And there's also this virtual TCC website, which has a lot of links that you might need to use. And it's all in one spot, which is nice. And then student resources. This is very specifically about COVID. And you probably know enough about it now, but I'm leaving that up there. All right, so the online calculator, like graphing calculator, like I said, you still want to get a handheld graphing calculator, but in this little video I made, I show you how to use the online graphing calculator. You don't really need to use it much in this class at all. That's why I recommend just a scientific calculator. If you want a graphing calculator and you don't want to spend $100, this is the one. I show you how to do it in the video, but if you go to desmos.com and click on graphing calculator, it pops up and you can type your equations in here. This will make more sense eventually if you're not familiar with it now, but it can graph for you. Okay, so the next thing I have here is basically the introduction to the class. So you have a syllabus quiz. Like I said, this is due Sunday. After you watch this video and read the syllabus, it should make sense, but you have 3 attempts at it, and it tells you the right answers anyway, so you should get 100 on it. Student introductions. Anytime you see this, it's a discussion board. This little symbol here is a discussion board. And when you click on it, it'll tell you exactly what to do for the directions. So for the introductions, your name. If you're comfortable, you can put a photo of yourself. You don't have to. Educational background, where you live, as far as your location, current occupation, what you hope to gain from this course. I'm sure for most everyone, you're just trying to get and satisfy math credits. And then maybe something interesting about you. All right, and that'll get you 4 points, and then 2 replies to get the other 6 points. Just say something nice to one of your classmates. But that's the structure of the test discussion boards. They're not due for a while, but you basically will click here and read the directions. I need to change these because now it's Friday instead of Wednesday. But the directions will be the same. All right, so the last little bit of this video is going to be about how to use the online homework system. I'm going to first scroll past practice tests and tests and go down to Unit 1. And then Section 1.1 is the first thing you do. Notice if you look at the pacing schedule, that was the first section of homework. So there's learning outcomes. You can look at these or not. It's up to you, but this is what you're trying to learn in that section. And then here's the textbook with links in that section. You can click on them. Now you don't really need to do that. What you really need to make sure you're doing, before you click on homework, you need to click on the video lessons and practice problems. What it's going to do, it's going to open up the assignment. It's going to give you those same learning outcomes again. Hit start. Like I said, as soon as you're in Canvas, you're already inside here. You don't have to sign up for anything. And the directions, view each video lesson, then complete the practice problems. So in here, we've got a video. And it says simplify the following expression. And the video will show you how to do something similar. So you learn from that. And what I want to show is how the grading works. All right, so what I'm going to do on each problem, you start off with 3 attempts. So I'm going to get it wrong 3 times on purpose. And you'll notice after my 3rd time, I cannot re-enter my answer. So let me just do that again. So I answer it once. Notice that the submit question button is still here. Twice, it's still there. After the 3rd time, it goes away. So I can't answer it again as it is. It will tell me the answer, so you can compare, maybe see where you're going wrong. But you can did a similar question. And then let's say you practice it and you think you know how to do it now. So let's see if we can figure this out. Let me pause it real quick. All right, so I just did it on the side to get it right real quickly. After you get a question right, you get a green check mark. It'll tell you the answer is the same. And what you'll notice is now I have 1 point on this problem. Now, there's no reason why you need to do it again. But if you accidentally get a similar question, you do not have to do it again, unless you want to practice more. So let's say I did it again, I got it wrong, and I think, oh man, I got to do this problem over again. No, it's already saved it for you. Just go to the next question. Now I'm on question 2. And then you can go through and do them all like that. You don't have to go in order, of course. That X might bother you, but see, that's just remembering that the last time I tried it, I got it wrong. I still got my point. Right? But the practice problems, along with the homework, I'll show you in a second, are set up like this. You can do it as many times as you need to get it right. But you need to do the video lessons and practice problems first. Then once you complete that, that's due on the Fridays. The homework is due on the Sundays. And you'll notice that the main difference, there's a video link that you can click on, but you're supposed to have learned from the practice problems and now try to do this, And I just messed around with this because I don't know what 9 to the 3rd is in my head, but if you get part of a problem right, you get partial credit. You can still go through and, for this one, well, I know that's right, so I don't want to change the answer, but maybe I can fix that one. And then I got my 2/3, and then maybe you figure out this one. Of course, you want to get them all right at once, but that's the way it works. If you use all your tries, just like with the practice, just get a similar problem, and then it'll let you try again. Okay. Now, that's how every section is set up. You'll notice that Unit 1, for example, goes through 2.3, and then that's where the test 1 goes through. Now, the practice tests, like I said, they're up here. They are not for a grade officially, but I have the bonuses described like I had in the syllabus. So if you get an A on a practice test, you will get a 3% boost on the corresponding test grade. So for example, if you get an 83 on test 1 and 92 on practice test 1, your final test grade will be an 86. It doesn't automatically update, so be patient about that. I have to go through and do that manually. This is not rounded at all because practice test is just like the homework. You can do it over and over and over again. Okay. But just to show you that, I'll open practice test 1. The problem contents now, I'm just showing you it works the same. So I got it 3 times, it shows me the answer. I can get a similar problem, and then I can do it again. All right, so what is this? That I got it right, and then I can move on to the next one. So you can always get up to 100. right, and then for taking the test, you can't access them now. So like test 1 won't let you access it. It doesn't open up till January 25th, but you'll take it through there. Getting on HonorLock, you can watch this video in here to see how to do that. I have the video here, which should be the easiest thing. If you do watch this video, the last bit is about submitting work, but that's not necessary for this class, so you do not need to do that. All right, so that's pretty much everything that's on the modules page, which is the main place you'll look. The discussion boards, that's just where the discussion boards are. You can access them through here or through the modules page like I had. The grades page will just update your grades. Now it'll update it as you go. So if you do only one problem, it'll mark your grade as pretty low, 1 out of 22 for this one. But you can go back and do it again. Just make sure that you don't click on here because it won't work. Go back to the modules page. So that's section 1.1. Go back in, and all I have to do is hit resume and go back in. Okay. The syllabus page, that's the syllabus and pacing. One thing people like about this page is that it has the dates kind of spread out already. So you can see what's due January 10th, January 15th, January 17th. Sometimes it looks like a lot more than it is. For example, when this HonorLock practice test is due, there's only one, there's not two, and it's very quick. The main thing is still the homeworks here. All right, but it does, really kind of enforce that you do not want to wait to the last minute to do everything. The quizzes and HonorLock tabs you never really need to go to. The quizzes are where you can open up the tests as well, but you can open them through the module page. HonorLock, you don't really ever need to click here. I mean, you can, but the best thing to do is just enter through the quizzes. Study Edge, I can't actually access this as a fake student. And they might not be available at the beginning of the semester, but they're just videos. I think the videos and the homework are better than these, but it's another resource. And then Smart Thinking gets that if you, in the student resources, there's a link on how to use Smart Thinking. Yeah, but that's pretty much everything that's on Canvas. Remember, your grade is made up. In fact, the syllabus tab has it. I have to edit it because I haven't changed it. So this will be changed, but practice problems are 15%, homework's going to be 20%, each of the 3 unit tests are 15, and the final is 20. And practice tests do not count for a grade, so if you do not do them and you end up with a 0, it won't change your grade. Right, but I'm sure I forgot some stuff, but if you have any questions, just let me know.